Welcome to the Cleveland Community Police Commission's full commission meeting for July 23rd, 2025. We're located at John F. Kennedy High School. I call this meeting to order and welcome you all. Before we begin, I would like to give the floor to Commissioner Sheila Mason.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. I would just like for us to take a few moments. Today, we had 3 officers from Lorain City that was shot. And we're asking for prayer for those 3 officers and also for the CMHA officer that was shot on Sunday. So if we can just take a moment and give a prayer and a moment of silence. I'm sorry, a moment of silence for these 4 officers. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Mason. We're going to move forward with the roll call agenda. Co-Chair Adams.
Present.
Commissioner Chura.
Present.
Commissioner Coleman is on her way. Commissioner Kincaid.
Present.
Commissioner Mason.
Present.
Commissioner Miller is out sick. Commissioner Marrera Benito.
Present.
Commissioner Nelson.
Present.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Present.
Commissioner Umelson.
Present.
Commissioner Van Leer.
Present.
And I am present. We're going to proceed to the adoption of our agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Someone can,
A motion to move
yeah.
it
Can someone motion to move the executive session?
to the first agenda item.
I move to move the executive session up on the agenda
That's the first item.
to the first item,
Is there a second?
above public comment. So I move to move the executive session to the first order of business before public comment.
I'll second.
Okay, so we'll discuss a little bit. We're going to go into, we scheduled to go into executive session and speak with MGT, but due to their schedule, they need to meet with us as soon as possible. So we just want to move that meeting up so that we could accommodate their schedule. Okay, if there's no further discussion, we're going to vote to adopt the agenda with the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposition? Any abstains? Okay, that passes. That's the adoption of the agenda with the, okay. Okay, so, okay, I want to acknowledge that Commissioner Coleman is now here, so I'll add that to our attendance.
Madam Chairperson, on the, we talked about moving the executive session up. With the chair's permission, I would move that we modify the language. Instead of saying executive session to discuss appointment of a public official and discipline of a public employee, that we discuss legal and personnel issues. That we amend that by deleting appointment of a public official and discipline of a public employee to legal and personnel issues.
If I may, the law is quite clear that a motion during executive session cannot speak for personnel issues. It has to stay verbatim the commissions under 121.22.
Mr. Chairman, I will then voice my objection to the to going into executive session. So, the motion should, the total should be restated. How many ever people here are here, affirmative with 1 no vote. I have a no vote on
To go into that executive session.
You moved that we go into executive session. I like to
Look, this is
restate my
the-
vote
this is the
to a
attendance.
no.
I don't think we've
We have to vote.
Voted
Then.
to
I
go into
thought we were doing a
executive
voice
session
vote, but then we'll just have to do
Your roll
A
call.
roll call.
a roll call vote.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let me make sure I understand. So I thought MGT was just gonna do a presentation and have a talk.
He's,
That portion
is your mic on?
executive session. I guess I'm just seeking clarification about just the conversation. So I thought it was discussed that MGT would do a presentation or have a conversation. Is that
Right.
what
the-
we're still speaking about?
To the
or-
commissioner, the 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 recruiter for MGT is located in outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So he's not physically present. So we have a room set up, and we'll put him on like the Clever Touch board, and he'll answer all our questions, and he'll do a presentation for us. But it'll just be via Zoom. So yes, you're getting the presentation. It's just not in person.
And oh, so that presentation is not going to be open to the public. So that's where so it was that presentation going to be an executive session.
Yes. Commissioner Benito.
Just for clarification, so I believe that we voted to approve the agenda with the moving of the executive session up on the agenda. We have not yet voted to enter executive session. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we got to do a roll call vote. I'll do it. I'll just
Yes.
check.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I will withdraw my opposition until we actually move to enter executive session.
Okay.
Okay? Consistent with what Commissioner Benito said.
No, I gave it to you.
The one you gave me was the attendance. Oh, this is it. Okay. Okay, so, okay, the next item of the agenda is meeting decorum. And so this meeting of the Cleveland Community Police Commission is a lawful meeting. Under section 605.04 of the codified ordinance, no person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which obstructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting. Members of the public are invited to speak in accordance with the public comment rules. Disruptions, including but not limited to speaking out of turn or making loud utterances that interferes with the due conduct of this lawful meeting, may constitute as a misdemeanor and a violation of section 605.04. If this meeting is disrupted, I will call for a recess and the room will be cleared. Persons who violate the city ordinance and commit misdemeanors may be subjected to prosecution. When the body is able to return from recess, then in compliance with the Ohio Open Meeting Act and section 101.021 of the codified ordinance, the meeting will be open to the public. So we're going to move forward with the approval of the meeting minutes for the month of May and June of the full commission meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion or anything about that? Okay, we're going to move for a vote to approve the meeting minutes. Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Commissioner Chura?
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Marrero Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Nelson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Abstain.
Commissioner Umason? Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
And I vote yes.
Motion passes.
That motion passes. So at this time, because we move our executive session up to as the next item on the agenda before public comment. Yeah.
I move to enter executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment of a public official and the discipline of a public employee.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yes, I'm thoroughly confused. This is to be a simple process, but there's a discussion for, okay, let me see. Okay, all right. We are, in executive session, we're discussing MGT presentation? Or no?
There's two items. So there's going to be a presentation from MGT, and we will have a discussion about current.
So we have, these are personnel issues.
That's
right?
what, yes.
Correct.
Okay, to the council, then we're moving to executive session to specifically discuss personnel matters. pursuant to the motion. Now, either we are or we aren't.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm just trying to clarify. When I said that it should be modified to state that, you indicated that we can't state that. So either we are or we aren't. My vote would be no either way, but I just want to make sure we are clear on why we're going to executive session.
Well, what I will say is, acting as interim executive director, I'm not opining on the law, just based upon my legal experience. What I acknowledge is that under the law, there are certain provisions under which the body can move into executive session. That being those two items there. The general personnel matters is typically not defined enough and refined enough for the body to validly move into executive session, just for that personnel.
Now, I've been on numerous to the council, and it's not really that important today, except I've been in numerous public meetings where we had discussed personnel or legal matters, and we said the purpose of our going into executive session is legal and personnel matters. I will state that for the record. I will vote no, and I'll leave it at that. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. Co-Chair Adams,
Aye.
Commissioner Chura,
Aye.
Commissioner Coleman,
So, sorry. I know discussion should have been before the roll call vote. We've already passed to move it up. So if we don't pass to go into executive session, does that essentially mean there won't be one?
essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I vote yes.
Commissioner Kincaid,
Yes.
Commissioner Mason,
Yes.
Commissioner Marrero Benito,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
No.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
No.
Commissioner Umason,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Leer,
Aye.
and I vote yes, motion passes. That's across the hall. So we're gonna go across the hall,
Room 151.
room 151.
Maybe. Is this?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Celeste, can you hear?
Can you hear?
Oh, they got it.
Yes, I can hear.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna move forward with,
We have to come out of
yeah,
executive
Make a
session.
motion.
yeah. So we're gonna put forth a motion to return to public meeting from executive session. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Chura? Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason? Commissioner Marrera Benito? Commissioner Nelson? Commissioner Rodriguez? She's probably not back yet. Commissioner Umasin? One moment, please.
Frankly, you don't need to vote out of executive session.
We've only done it in person,
Well, we already started.
Okay, so they're back. So we're currently voting to come back from executive session. So Commissioner Mason? Aye. Commissioner Rodriguez?
Aye.
Commissioner Umasin?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
And I vote yes.
So do they have, could they stick around for a while, or should we go to them right now?
I'd suggest moving up the budget and grants report on the agenda and
And we could just do that?
Okay, so I'm gonna move up the budget and grants report just because we have a guest and their availability is limited. So, I'll give the floor to Commissioner Umasin.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I have a couple motions I kind of wanted to bring to the commission here. The first one is a motion to suspend Rule 2.4 of the CPC Operations and Procedures Manual. So basically, that's just the rule that any amount that we're trying to pass that's over $10,000 has to go through the Budget and Grants Committee, but we haven't had our next meeting yet, and our next meeting is going to be, is this one right here. So I want a motion to suspend that any amount that we're trying to pass that goes over $10,000 has to go through the Budgets and Grants Committee. So all in favor, I guess, say, I make the motion, and then.
Is there a second?
Second.
And then open it up for discussion.
Is there a time limit on the suspension, or is it indefinite? Just for today? Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this might be a silly question, but everybody's here, right? So is every member of the Grants and Budgets Committee here? Okay.
And just,
Commissioner-
Taya.
Not Taya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not here
Who was
today.
all on that committee? I'm sorry.
Yeah, me and her, and then,
Rodriguez.
yeah.
And then just for discussion purposes, I know you're not putting anything on the record on her behalf, but
Yeah.
you've been in discussion and everything, and she's up to date on the current proposals that will be made today?
Yeah, so I spoke to her about it. As far as like every single detail, I can't speak to that.
Well, is she okay? Did you go over the proposed motions you'll have?
Yeah, so
Okay.
these motions I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's all. Okay.
got you. So now we can go into a.
Oh, yeah, I'll
vote?
call the vote for
There was a
you.
motion, there needs to be a second.
They second.
There was a- mhm.
Is there any more discussion or debate about this motion? Okay, I'll call the vote. Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Commissioner Chura? Commissioner Coleman?
Come back to me.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Morera Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Nelson?
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Aye.
Commissioner Umason?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
And I vote yes. Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Okay, that passes.
All right, thank you. And the reason for that is for my second motion. So this motion I want to bring to the table is to approve the expenditures for the Noble Conference in an amount to not exceed $27,200. And kind of before I get into that or to the discussion, I kind of want to pass it to Commissioner Mason to explain her experience going to the Noble Conference.
Did you make a motion? Or-
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Good, thank you.
It is now. Sheila's going to go first.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're going to go first.
Just to give you all some history about Noble. Noble is the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. It was established in 1976 by chiefs from various cities. And what it do, Noble is to assist chiefs, commanders, lieutenants, now sergeants, to promote and to assist them with the injustice that they may have, and also with the communities when there are police injustice. So they will go to that city and they will find out what's going on. They will report it back, and they sometimes will side with that community. But what it is law enforcement officers. Their mission is, well, let me back it up. They have over 4,800 members. Noble have 60 chapters around the country and international. They have a chapter in Canada, in Great Britain, and in Africa. And these people also come to the conference. So when you go to the conference, you will meet and see these people from these different various communities. One of the good things that they do during the conference is they will have training for law enforcement, and some of the training that they will be talking about is the drone usage. They will have a community there that will speak about the drones and the policies. They will be talking, they'll have classes on harassing and dealing with AI. They will be talking to people who are ready to retire and what to do after retirement. They will have a roundtable for the chiefs, for the sheriff, for the postal inspectors. They will also have training for the international officers, and they call them, they're not called chiefs, they're called, no, I'm sorry, I done forgot their name, but they will be coming in, like there are, like here, we call them chiefs and safety directors, they call them, no, it's another word, start with a C, my mind is a little, yeah, something like that. But the one big thing is this year we're going to be talking about suicide with first responders. And the reason why they really wanted to deal with that this year was New York had in 2019, they had 10 officers commit suicide. And if you notice from that point, Detroit had 2, Chicago had 3. So what they're saying is because of the postpartum, yes, they say that we're under stress and we need assistance. So they're doing mental health, and they want them to know what to do, and there are avenues out there for them. So that is a big piece of this training for this year. And also, we will have NACO there because they will be joining them in doing the citizen over review. So NACO and the directors will be there for training. And the other thing with Noble, like if your spouse come, they have a whole agenda for your spouse. They have a whole agenda for the youth. And one of the biggest pieces that we try to talk to the youth about, they have a program called The Law in Your Community. And that is what to do when stopped by the police. And so we are trying to make sure that our youth understand that you cannot hold court out on the street with the police. And what your response and what the steps you need to do when you're in a situation of that nature. So I think that's about everything. I'm trying to brush it all through. Chief Constable, that's what it is, yes. Chief Constable, and they are from the Caribbean. They will also be there, the Caribbean.
Got you. Thank you, Commissioner Mason. Do we have any other discussion for the conference? Yeah, questions. All right, so I'd like to do a vote.
Okay, I'll do the roll call vote. Co-Chair Adams?
Aye.
Commissioner Chura? Aye. Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Morera Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Nelson? Aye. Commissioner Rodriguez?
Aye.
Commissioner Umelson?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
And I vote yes. That passes.
All right, thank you for that. The next motion I had, and thank you UBF for being here, is a motion to approve the 2024 grants. And I know that these grants were in the process in the previous commission as well. So in these amounts, we wanted to go ahead and do a motion to approve the 2024 grants that were recommended by UBF. So I put up that motion. So we have a second, and so I want to open it up to discussion. And again, UBF, thank you for being here. So if any commissioners have any questions or discussion on the grants, we can do that now. Yeah, then we have to pass the mic as well.
Mr. Chairman, to the committee chairperson.
Take this one.
Oh, okay. All right. To the, Mr. Chairman, to the committee chairperson. I had a couple of questions. I sent them, so you probably got them, but I'll skip to number 2. We have a broad range of recipients being proposed, some ranking from as low as 6 to up to well over 100. Can anyone from UBF articulate what separates a recipient ranked as low as a 6 from one rank, for those ranked 50 and over? What process did you use objective process did you use to rank those folks? And then how did a 6 get past your review? Can you guys hear us?
Thank you for.
Okay.
We are here. Thank you for your question. Unfortunately, it's a little bit choppy on our end.
So I'm going to try to decipher what we heard from the question. What we understand is that you're referring to the questions that were sent to us this afternoon and our responses to that. Is that correct? Just for clarity.
Yes, so let you all respond to the question. To the chair, I'll let them respond to the questions in mass as opposed to me asking each individual question. Thank you.
Okay. It still is a little choppy, but I'm going to do my best to respond here. So based on the question, it's what separates a recipient ranked as a 6 from those that were ranked at a 50 or more. And so the evaluation process involves a scoring using 23 questions as a part of a rubric with a 0 to 5 ranking where 0 indicates that the applicant, based on the question, it wasn't applicable. And then the highest score was 115. This just really serves as a baseline for us to have a conversation and recommendation to the commission to determine if the applicant moves on to the second phase of the application process, which is a site visit. So what we do is we have a baseline with our scoring, we provide our recommendation, and then we have conversations with the committee to determine, based on what we provided as recommendation, if they have any feedback or recommendations for us to engage with other entities that didn't necessarily get a score that would require them to move forward for a site visit. And again, it is just a baseline for us to be able to determine whether or not we can engage in conversation to move them forward to the next phase.
If would the chairperson address question, I'm sorry, if you address question 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the order they were presented to you. One has already been responded to, and 7's been responded to already, and you've addressed 2. Could you address the other 3, 4, 5, and 6?
I can try to answer question 4. If that what you're asking is a little choppy for me here.
Where are they? Okay. All right. Okay.
Tell them they're also.
Can someone text Celeste?
They're typing it in the chat.
Okay. I understand that someone is typing it. Oh. Okay. I'll try to speak more succinctly without the echo. If you could answer questions 3, 4, 5, and 6, and you can do them in the order in any order with which you choose, and the other commissioners may want to ask questions related to those questions. Thank you. And Dr. Adams has texted you the questions.
Yeah, so Celeste, I think just you can go forward since you spoke up with question 4.
Guide for our recommendation, and really involves a lot of consultation and discussion with the committee to come to an agreement. So for example, when we get an application, one of the first things we do is look at to make sure that it fits the CPC criteria. And some of those criteria would be, for instance, if the application has a hardship because they cannot, as a small organization, put money up front and then wait for reimbursement. So that is indicated in the application. We also want to know if they have a fiscal agent or if in fact they do have their 501c3, which would be the letter that is included. We make sure that they have a budget. We look at and make sure that the program and the participants are all to be Cleveland residents and that they are serving Cleveland. And we also make sure that the application falls into one of the 3 categories, which is mediation, restorative justice, and violence prevention. We look then also at the community impact, because that's one of the questions. And we look at where the location is so we can determine which ward the program is delivering services in. And then we also want to see if the organization has collaborations and works with other organizations to help combine services, to work together so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel if they need a particular service and there might be another organization who already offers that. So those are really the first kind of criteria that we look at when we get an application.
So if you all don't mind, I'll go next on question 5. And I apologize that I'll be on, but I have to be off camera after I do this, after transition. But thank you all for the opportunity to kind of share with the commission today. And Judge Nelson, the question, my response is what percentage of the evaluation is subjective? And so what I will just attempt to do is just summarize that by saying that 50% of the process is quantitative and 50% is qualitative, as was referenced earlier, I think by Twyla and Celeste in various ways, that the first step of the process is to determine whether a particular grantee or prospective grantee warrants a site visit by just kind of hitting the mark to learn more. And they have to, meet a score. And then there's an evaluation process based on experience as to whether those particular numbers warrant the visit. Then once you have a visit, for those that do qualify for a visit, that process is also qualitative and quantitative. So there's measures and scores based on the questions that are asked, as per the numbers that were provided by Twina earlier. But there's also an intuitive process, and then just as for a matter of example, that unrelated process that I recently experienced was an organization that on paper didn't qualify for a site visit. That meaning quantitatively they didn't hit the number, and the primary reason why they didn't hit that target number that would get them to the next phase was because it was such a new organization. It was under I think a year old. But based on what they were writing in the document, I noticed that they were leaning on a lot of experiences and using examples of what the organization had accomplished. So I, based on my qualitative understanding, visited them despite their not meeting the mark. And again, that's intuitive. And it comes more, people rely on that more when you have more experience doing site visits and grants evaluations. We encourage people who have less experience to lean more in a way on the quantitative portion. And so it turns out that particular organization had just simply changed their name because a partner that had formed the previous organization had passed away suddenly, and the leadership made the decision consciously to change the name because it was too hard to deal with the old name of the organization, considering the factors. So all of the experience still led with the leadership, and that organization was making and makes impactful influence and work on people in Greater Cleveland now. So I think it's a very balanced process. But how people lean on that process is based on their experience in conducting site visits and engaging with donors, with grantees and those site visits. Thank you. Twyla,
I can jump in here for 3.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the number 3 was what percentage of each recipient's budget is based on the grant award. And per the commission's desire, we prioritize the smaller grassroots agencies that may have smaller budgets. But based on that, it's not in the criteria to consider nor penalized based on the budget size to determine the award. So if it is the desire of the commission to include this in the process moving forward as an evaluation factor, we are more than happy to do so. But having received these questions this afternoon, if it is the desired outcome of the commission to go through each application currently and review the budget of the applications and determine the percentage, we'll provide the commission with a list in the next few days, only because there were over 50 applications for us to do that.
Mr. Galiscom, I'm sorry.
In response to that?
And so when we get to number 6, we start talking a bit more about the evaluation breakdown and what we use to do that evaluation. And so some of the questions that we are looking at as we begin delving into the application and evaluating and then looking at site visits and the questions, we want to talk to and evaluate really what the purpose of the program is, because sometimes people don't always describe things really well in writing, but when you have a chance to talk to them, they explain things very well. So that question really allows us to really understand the true purpose of the program that the application is putting forward. We also want to see what is unique about the program because there are many nonprofits in Cleveland serving many of the residents, and sometimes there is a lot of duplication. And so we like to find out and hear from them and evaluate the application to find out what's unique and why, in fact, that they should be considered for funding. One of the most important questions that we asked about is how they collect data, because that's very important as we are looking at reducing police interactions and just looking at the populations that the programs are serving. And we want to work with them because that's part of the training that we will do when the applicants are approved. We will work with them to help them learn how to collect that data so that is put forth and so that council people can understand really what's being done in their wards, who's being served, and what some of the outcomes are. And then we also want to find out exactly how the funding will be used. And so that's why we really look at the budgets and make sure that you don't see a lot of money going to salary, but that you see the bulk of the grant that's going to support for the participants in the program and things like that. So those are the questions that we really delve into as we evaluate and look at site visits as well.
Officers before, I trust the Director Liscombe, trust the rest of you guys. The only question I have, will you provide technical assistance for those?
Includes the questions that we were asked to respond
Okay,
to.
all right. Cecil, can you hear me, Cecil? The only other question I have, will you provide technical assistance to those who are ranked lower?
Yes.
And if the
I'm
answer to
not
that,
sure that we, okay. Are we still on with the group? Because we can't hear anyone.
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing anything either.
Mhm.
It looks like it's muted. Was
Try
it Alex?
again. Try again.
There we go.
Okay.
The question was, does UBF provide any technical assistance to the grantees that have been awarded grants but were ranked lower on that scale, who may be missing some of those necessary components to move forward in receiving their actual funds?
So I think we heard your question. I just want to repeat it back to you to make sure that this is the question that you asked. So you asked if those that were recommended for receiving grant funds, but also were scored low, if there's opportunity for technical assistance in order to make sure that they receive the support that they need in order to expend their grant funding. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So based on that question, we actually are offering up technical assistance to all of the organizations who would receive grant funding. A part of the process that we have incorporated into the CPC grant process is that we have a informational meeting that's sort of a full day summit where we'll be providing support and understanding of what's required, what's necessary, also having some speakers to be able to talk to them about managing their budget and also too on what to track for outcomes But on top of that, we'll continue to reach out and connect with the grantees as they're submitting their reports, as well as submitting for reimbursement, which is what we incorporate as a part of our process overall. So it would be specific only to those who had a low score. It would be available to all who would be awarded a grant.
That's awesome. We appreciate that information. Are there any additional questions?
I wanted to go back to the point, Celeste, that you mentioned about kind of helping the organizations as they gather data. And so just to kind of keep things transparent and with the community, are there some ideas that you currently have in mind that as far as data goes that we can share to the public so they understand, where the grant money is going towards? Because we know we have the funding categories: violence prevention, restorative justice, mediation. So these type of things, do you have a current idea of kind of like how that process would go?
Yes, so as a matter of fact, we just had our traditional grant meeting a few months ago, and one of the things that I felt was important was to talk about data because we're in a very uncertain environment right now. And so looking at data, looking at how they tell the story is something that they can control right now. So one of our partners is the Center for Community Solutions. And I asked them to come and speak and explain the use of data, explain the free services that are available at the Center for Community Solutions that organizations can utilize to help them learn about demographics and changes in Cleveland. And so that would be something that we would be incorporating in our training as we work with the people that are awarded grants, because it's very important. And a lot of organizations, particularly smaller ones, don't even know about the Center for Community Solutions. And so one of the things that UDF does is bring this kind of knowledge and information to small grassroots organizations so that they can be much better, that they compete, and that they can also look at sustaining themselves. So yes, we consider that very important, and we have that great partnership with the Center for Community Solutions that we will bring into the mix with CPC grantees.
All right, thank you. Were there any other comments? All right, if not, then I would like to move it to a vote. Vote then, roll call vote.
So the motion on the table is to approve the 2024 grants. We'll take the vote. Commissioner Chura? Aye. Commissioner Coleman?
Aye.
Commissioner Kincaid?
Aye.
Commissioner Mason?
Aye.
Commissioner Morel Benito?
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez? Okay. Commissioner Umason?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer?
Aye.
I vote aye. I think we have just like three commissioners that are not present, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 votes, so the motion does pass. Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to specify. The reason why Commissioner Zayed and Commissioner Rodriguez are not here is because they have recused themselves. So that's why they stepped out. So we have, looks like 8-0-0 motion passes. Congratulations, grantees.
Thank you, UBF. We appreciate your attendance and your answering questions and feedback.
And then
Thank you all for having us. Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank
your
you
vote of
for letting
confidence.
us be here. Thank you.
All right, take care. Goodbye.
So I think for purposes of time and making sure we prioritize business, I think we're going to move to the committee reports, and we're going to start with the policy committee because there are a couple policies they need to pass.
Right. Thank you, Co-Chair. So yeah, we have just a quick update. We have a process. We're working on several different GPOs, including the automatic license plate readers, corrective action guidance, arrest restraint, and vehicle pursuits. Those are some of our top priorities. And we are also working on a process with the DOJ and the monitoring team to see if we can streamline the approval process, because any GPO that comes through us then has to go to the DOJ and the monitoring team if it's consent decree related. So we're trying to see if we can get some of their comments ahead of time and then get their approval after we do the final approval from the commission. We're also working with the Division of Police to get a process in place that will help us move things as well. So the two motions, I'm going to make a first motion to approve GPO 4.06.17 window tint meters.
Second.
Is there any discussion, questions? So I sent these out a couple weeks ago, maybe, or 2 weeks ago. This one came to us from the division, and we left it largely intact with one significant change, which was that we specify that window tint meters, suspicion that a window tint is too dark and would violate Ohio Revised Code, cannot be cause for a primary stop. Other than that, that's really the main, and I explained that in an email to the commission earlier.
No more discussion? All right, so we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Commissioner Chura. Aye. Commissioner Coleman.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Kincaid.
Aye.
Commissioner Mason.
Aye.
Commissioner Benito.
Aye.
Mayor Benito. Commissioner Nelson. Absent. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Umison.
Aye.
Thanks. Commissioner Van Leer.
Yes.
And Sharina's, I will vote yes, and Sharina's not present, so we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 yeses, 0 no's, 0 abstentions. Motion passes.
My next motion is to approve GPO 5.15.19, Safe Haven Infant Baby 38 days of age or younger. This is a GPO that came to us, and thanks in particular to Commissioner Miller, who did a deep dive on this. And while the general direction of the police order is very similar to what was submitted to us by the division, a lot of language was changed and updated. And I believe you all have that. I sent that at the same time, and with a slight update to include the word baby back into the title, because this had been called Abandoned Baby, the GPO title had been. So for ease of search for officers who are on the road, who are doing the work, it was suggested that we include that to make it easier for them to find.
Second.
Yeah, go ahead. What?
Second. It hasn't been seconded yet, so I'm seconding
sorry.
it. That's okay.
I make a motion and you second
And
it.
I
Thank
second
you,
it.
and for stopping me from my ramble. Are there any questions or discussion?
If there's no discussion, then we will call for the vote. Commissioner Chura. Aye. Commissioner Coleman.
Come back to me.
Okay. Commissioner Kincaid.
Also come back to me.
Okay. Commissioner Mason.
Aye.
Commissioner Mario Benito.
Aye.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Umison.
Aye.
Commissioner Van Leer.
Yes.
Commissioner Zayed.
Yes.
And then we'll come back to the other commissioners.
Coleman, aye.
Commissioner Coleman's an aye. And then what about Commissioner Kincaid? Okay. We're gonna need. All right. So what's your vote, Commissioner Kincaid?
Well, for clarity, I asked a question in regard to what the officer's responsibility is after they've relinquished the infant to social services or child services. And Commissioner Coleman was just clarifying for me based on what it says here. But I vote aye.
All right. So.
Well, it's on the record. You heard me say it. Thanks.
Appreciate you.
All right, so we will have, so the motion passes. There are 10 yays, 0 noes, and 0 abstentions. So this motion passes as well. All right, so I think what we need to do now is our executive session went a little longer than normal, and we still have to have a public comment. So I'm going to make a suggestion that we extend the meeting by about, we have, it looks like 8 people who signed up for public comment. Or we have 6. 6 for public comment. So I'm going to say, you have additional lists? So we have 7 people. So we need roughly, I'm going to say 25 minutes because we still have to get through the rest of the committee reports.
I'll second.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is, can we just do a voice motion for that? So a motion is on the floor to extend the meeting by 25 minutes. We have a second. We have a second from Commissioner Benito. Are there any, go ahead.
Are we able to stay in this space for extra 25 minutes? 'Cause
Samantha,
sometimes
do we
they
have to leave at a certain
a
point? That's her question. We'll be fine? Okay. Alrighty. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any objections? So motion will be extended for 25 minutes. Thank you. So I think at this point we'll move on to the reports. I think if possible, let's keep these as short as possible because we're already going over time. Do you want to start with the executive director? Do you want to waive it or what do you want to do? Okay.
All right, just briefly, and being cognizant of everyone's time, I wanted to let the commission know that we did receive a couple appeals. The requests for records have been made. Once we get those records, I look forward to completing that legal assessment and providing that assessment to the Accountability Committee. Similarly, we are also using the consent decree court-approved records process to request a variety of records for matters that have not reached us via appeal, but matters that we would like to nonetheless explore and ensure that discipline was properly provided. In case the commission doesn't know, upon my swearing in, the first matter that I attended to was providing the Accountability Committee a legal assessment, the first legal assessment of 2025, and I look forward to presenting that at the Accountability Committee meeting. Lastly, the administration by this office has received a legislation request to City Council requesting that City Council enact penalties associated with non-compliance of a subpoena. So once that potentially moves forward, which is being sponsored by the Finance Department, we can begin exploring exercising our subpoena power, and if penalties are provided, that will provide teeth for non-compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll go really quickly for the co-chair report. So briefly, the first thing we want to say is that we, the final commissioner, Luther Roddy, vice president of the Black Shield, has been approved by council. He is currently on vacation with his family. So once he returns from his vacation, he will be sworn in by the city and he will be a part of the commission. So we're happy to have him. We were able to meet with him and talk to him, and I think he's going to be a really good addition to the commission. Secondly, where the executive director search we're currently doing a search with MGT. The applications for the permanent executive director opened up the second week in July, and they are shooting towards an August 11th application deadline, and from there they'll proceed to do the work to basically narrow those applications down, and they're shooting for a goal of I think right now October 6th, like the first week in October. And what will happen with those interviews eventually is that once the list is dwindled down, we will do interviews, and the commissioners will be involved once that list gets down a little bit more, and then those interviews will be recorded for the public to view at their leisure. So I'll say that, and then I think right there, that's all we kind of need for the co-chair report. I want to move on to these committee reports. And I think the first will be the Rules Committee by Chair Tara Coleman.
So right now, we are in the process of collecting community feedback and feedback from stakeholders we've reached out to opine on the current draft of the hearings procedure manual. And so we've received feedback from all three sources: commissioners, community, and stakeholders. We will get that implemented into track changes and get a draft reposted to the website so that the community can stay up to date on the feedback that we're incorporating. And that will be reposted. Then we will, any next steps, or our next Rules Committee meeting will be any next steps we need to take, like if there are any other, based on the feedback, any other stakeholders we want to reach out to, et cetera, with the goal, we hope that we can bring this to the full commission at our next full meeting to pass. And the next two priorities that we will be focused on is a citizen's guide for the actual hearings manual, to kind of have a breakdown of citizens' rights, how it all works. And that will be another instance where we will be wanting to hear from the community to see what you want to see in that manual. What questions do you have that we can answer in that manual? And then the second priority I mentioned, said there were two. At our last meeting, we collected insight into what rules may need updated or reviewed. And we have a list there, so there will be plenty of work to do there. However, I think this manual and the Citizens Guide, we're going to prioritize those.
Thank you, Commissioner Coleman. The next report is the Police Accountability Committee. I think we're going to...
I'm giving it.
You're going to give it for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'm giving this report on behalf of Judge Nelson, who is our Chair Pro Tem for the Accountability Committee. We have a meeting that will that is happening next Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the CPC office. And the purpose of that meeting is to review the case assessment that we received from the Interim Executive Director on case 2025-001. So we hope that community members will be able to attend.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have the Outreach Committee, which will be given by Chair Commissioner Maya Kincaid.
So really straightforward outreach, all of the things that we discussed before. So our calendar that we are keeping abreast of different community events as well as CPC events. We are working diligently with the monitoring team to understand the needs of the district policing committees. They used to be called commanders meetings. Now they are the district policing committees, and we're looking forward to working together with those committees to address some of their needs and align with them so that we can make sure that we're hitting the marks that are listed in the consent decree. And we are actively also working on revising our survey and determining how we are going to move forward with dispersing that survey. As we had discussed before, we may hire an outside firm to do that because we do have the funds for it, but we are discussing what will be the most effective way to get that survey to the public and get the most feedback that we can. And yeah, that's the long and short of outreach.
Thank you. Next, we have, I think we already did the Budget and Grants Committee. I think lastly, we have, not lastly, but we've got the Training Committee report, which is going to be given by Commissioner Mason. No? Okay. So, I don't have it.
Do you have it?
I don't.
If she has it, I'll read it.
Maya says she'll read if you have it. Commissioner Miller is sick, so she's not present, but she did send a written report.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want me to? There you go. My Lord, it is long. All right. So this is from Commissioner Miller, the summary of public safety training facility visit to the Tri-C Western Campus. It says, Commissioner Mason and I visited the simulated scenario village at Tri-C's Western Campus Public Safety Training Facility to observe firsthand how officers are trained to make split-second decisions under pressure. The facility features realistic street setting, high-tech simulation building, and the Vertra V300 virtual reality system designed to immerse officers in high-stress, real-world scenarios. Additionally, the facility includes a mobile RV training unit that presents various interactive scenarios, further enhancing decision-making and de-escalation training in a controlled environment. A heartfelt thank you to Commissioner Mason for organizing this visit and sharing such valuable knowledge. The visit underscored the complexity of police encounters and the critical importance of comprehensive training for law enforcement. We are currently working on scheduling dates to ensure all commissioners can participate in this valuable experience, along with crisis intervention team training, which equips officers with the skills and safety, and with the skills to safely and effectively respond to individuals experiencing mental health crises. This visit reinforced the need for continued professional development that prioritizes de-escalation, empathy, and officer wellness. The training committee is currently reviewing the 2026 CIT, continuing professional training materials. The updated curriculum emphasizes officer wellness, now with an expanded focus on PTSD. Members are asked to review the outline provided, PowerPoints, and the attached TRC curriculum review sheet and submit feedback. There is a hard deadline at the end of August for finalizing the review and approval process.
Thank you, commissioners. And then lastly, we'll have a report from Commissioner Rodriguez for the Chair Pro Tem for the Promotions and Evaluations Committee.
So it's going to be real short. We're looking to schedule a meeting in August to continue to ensure a rubric and move forward with the process. We just had some logistical, but
Right.
we're working on it.
Can I just add one thing? And then also, one of the things that the committee requested were the human resource investigations. And so we actually did receive those completed investigations from the HR department and the division. So that was something that we were waiting for to continue to work. So we received that. So just to update the public on that as well. With that, I think we have no more business on the agenda, no more reports to give, and so we'll move forward with public comment. And the first name that I see is, it looks like, is it Nikita Stange? Stange, sorry about that. Oh, okay. You've got 3 minutes, and whenever you're ready to start.
I'm short. It's fine. Hi. Thank you so much for this time. My name is Nikita Stang, and I am from CASA of Cuyahoga County. We are court-appointed special advocates for children. We recruit, train, and support volunteers who work with kids in foster care. And so we provide a first stop to keep kids out of, I mean, the kids are already in the system, but keeping them out of delinquency, right? You know, keeping them out of police presence. But a lot of our kids that we encounter come from families that have DV, right? Substance use issues. And so having public awareness and support for what we do, it costs about $1,200 a year for a CASA volunteer to be supported. And that really comes down to training and support. But it's a whole lot cheaper for for the system than locking kids up, all the rest of it that comes with it. So I'm just here to share what we do and hope that you consider, we would love to provide opportunities for training. It would be free for public officials, anyone. We have training going on all the time. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. The next person I see on the list is Daryl Houston. Okay. Next we have Brenda Bickerstaff.
I'll make it brief. A couple of things. As one of the writers who wrote the legislation to get you guys here, I know you're new, but you got to do better when it comes to the grants. This has been lingering for a long time. And I understand there were some discrepancies. This gentleman had to get sworn in, and Rowdy is still waiting to get sworn in. I get that. But it's got to get better so it don't be long, drawn out, because I don't want y'all giving no money back. So that's the main thing, is not being able to give back money. And also, too, you need to have some type of, I know you have a clause for disruption, but I was approached tonight by 4 officers, and I'm not having that. And I should be able to come to these meetings and not be harassed by the police, the same police that killed my brother. Not these officers, but the department. I'm not gonna deal with that. And also, too, you need to have something where someone is talking that other people don't get involved with or interrupt me speaking. Because this is my time, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the issues that I'm having, and I've repeatedly brought this to your attention, and I will want you to do something about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The next name on the list is Lou. Lou, you're next on the list.
Good evening, this is Lou. The first question is, are you going to stop this? This is not a disturbance of the meeting? Last year,
Hold on,
when
Lou.
I was
Lou,
making
give me a
public
second, please.
comments,
Lou, can you just hold on, please? Can we just call the meeting to order, please? Thank you. Sorry.
last year when I was making public comments, that was inside of a police commissioner's office. When I just mentioned somebody's name, oh, right now she's sitting there. Right now she is the former Commissioner Terry Wang. At that time she was not completely formal, sorry. So when I mentioned the name Terry Wang, I was threatened by this person physically of bodily harm. Did you ever stop that? Was that not a disruption of the meeting? Today, you want to have an executive session first, but you forgot the time. But some of those business, probably you should actually discuss here openly. This is a public meeting. If you keep discussing things behind doors, what should we depend on you for? No accountability either. Just like the corrupted, elected or appointed officials, the whole community has been suffered from. Correct. I'm glad you are playing that. Thank you very much. So in that case, please If you want to have an executive session, remember the time. Now, you have to actually cut public comments time, but that's the only time we can come in because right now you don't want to open work groups. You don't really want to have all your discussion in front of people. So, now listen to this.
Can we
right
call
now,
the
this
meeting to
person is
order,
still
please?
going. Are you going to tell her this meeting should be in order? You're not. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to call this meeting to order. No. All right. She's leaving. All right. So our last public comment is Terry Wong.
Good evening. My name is Terry Wong. I'm the former commissioner of the commission that was also the Rules and Police Accountability Chair. The mess that you see before you is a product of structural problems with the commission. You have 5 distinctly unlawfully appointed commissioners. I filed a lawsuit today in Common Pleas Court to remove you, and those commissioners are Coleman, Chura, the new Commissioner Roddy, Mason, and Judge Nelson. All 3 officers, Chura, Roddy, and Mason, have previous discipline. You have lacked the personal integrity to tell the truth on applications, just as Ms. Coleman and Nelson have lied about their past police misconduct case experience. There are so many things wrong with this meeting. But I will speak broadly about it. You are a civilian oversight body. What you need to succeed is a lawyer, an independent lawyer, independent from the city law department. You don't have that. And you need an independent and competent executive director. You don't have that because you have a lawyer that previously was with the law department serving now as your executive director. You are a civilian oversight body. You are not an arm of the police department, but you have given now the public's money of $30,000 to Noble, a police organization. It's fine if you want to go, but some of you have never even gone to the NACO conference on police oversight, and that includes Commissioner Chura, who never attended on either occasion. I want to talk about the grants that you just passed. You have passed them in abdication of your responsibility. The public should know that these grants, 1.1 million, came from federal ARPA funds, and they were steered through the Cleveland Foundation. So it is the Cleveland Foundation now steering these grants through the commission. And you gave up 110, or maybe that's wrong, but that is what what's his name? One of the city council person who is a safety commission told me. Regardless, you took a 10% of that, $110,000, gave it to the United Black Fund to do your work. This is your work, not anybody else's. And when I confronted you about it, one of you who's not here, Tanya Miller, assaulted me in the most kind of unethical way, not straight to my face so I could defend myself, but went behind me and pushed me while John Adams filmed this. And then 2 of you scattered away from police, left a crime scene, and the other ones barricaded themselves in the commission headquarters and would not talk to police. And the 2 other people that are smiling, there's 2 other commissioners that have assaulted me, Pete Van Leer and Commissioner Benito.
Time.
So when are you going to invest? I'm making a
All right,
formal
so that
complaint
is
right
time.
now. Commissioner
Thank you
Chura,
for your
head of
comment,
the investigation committee,
Terry Wong,
investigate them.
and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. I'm going to start with last. Do we have Dale Schneider? Dale Schneider, you'll be the last public comment. Schneider. Nope, come on, one last comment. Are there any objections to Mr. Snyder's comment? All right, thank you.
Okay. How you doing, Commission, everyone? Let's change the energy in the room a little bit, please. I am one of the grantees, and I want to say thank you for voting the last vote on the grantees. I'm not sure what someone else was speaking about, that it was going through the police. I have nothing to do with the police department directly. But I do have lived experience, and I have lived experience in the community on both sides of the law. One of the criteria of the grant was to build and bridge gaps between the police and the community. I am the community. I needed that gap bridged, and I know those in the community that are like me need that gap bridged as well. One of the programs, the program that I do is Class B CDL training for returning citizens. This is necessary to put them on a career path so they don't feel like they're on the frayed ends of society. They feel like a part of society. And once you give them a career, now you go from on that end to part of society to a protector of society. In theory, is that it? In theory, we need the police. In theory, we need democracy. In theory, we need processes, courts, all of that. In theory, these things are good. What makes them bad, what makes them excel or deplete, is the people in prominent positions and the intents. If we look at intent, then I think we could solve a lot of this red tape, a lot of this bickering and beefing and bridge gaps on a multitude of levels and a multitude of systems that brings our society and community together. But I would like to say, on behalf of Roll Go Inc., thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so I think that's the last public comment. I'm on a motion to adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned. And then we also have a custodian. I think we have much time to be in the space since we went over, so if we could not hang out around too much, that'd be great. Thank you.